Hello everyone, this is Kristen Volk in Denver, Colorado, and I am here today to talk about phones. And I know all too well how our children, I'm at home with my kids, I'm working, I need some time away, I need some focus time, I need some me time, I need work time. And it's really easy for us to fall into a pattern of just letting them get on their devices. And so, I think I'm always asking myself the question, like, how do I change this? And knowing that it's not good for our kids, and knowing that we need to, as a parent, I need to really be vigilant. I need to be on top of it. I need to pay attention to how much device time my kids are getting. And I really didn't, I was slow to give my kids access to devices. We don't have TV time at home. Like, I'm really minimal, truthfully, but I've just seen as my kids have gotten older, I have adolescents now, that it's easy for them to get sucked in. We laugh because you have to have fun with teens. So I'm just like, you're going to get sucked into the vortex. If they want to do, it always starts off with, I just want to do something simple. I just want to listen to music. And then pretty soon they're sucked into the vortex. So a couple things to keep in mind here. I think, I always like to look at the problem and really understand the problem, because devices can make me so angry if I don't really look at what's happening in a realistic way. And so, and then that anger can, be directed to my kids, and it's really not their fault. And that's really kind of the first piece of this, is that, a device is so convenient, first of all. Like, how can you not do that? And in terms of, like, it's just there, it makes life easy. And it's also because we're hardwired to connect, because our children are wanting to reach out to the world. A device is the easiest way to do that, rather than, going out and doing things. And so I think it's just really important that, like, they're trying to go out into the world. It's just not in a healthy way. And so in some ways you can kind of applaud, like, yes, you need to go out in the world. Let's help you have the confidence to do it in a different way. And so being able to do that, I think, is very helpful. And I would love to know, my question for you is, what do you do with devices? Like, how do you manage that in your home? I think it's important that, the parents of the children get on the same page on that as well, so that there's a united front on how devices are managed. I do restrictions. Today I did a 24-hour media diet, device diet, where the devices actually went off my premises. So, because I think I've tried it before and it just didn't work, because it's like, I have to text somebody, and it was an important thing. We didn't problem solve to find another way around it. It was just too easy to send that text message, and then again we were sucked into the vortex. And so I managed to get the devices to go off site for 24 hours, and it's actually worked amazing. And here's what I noticed, which I thought was really interesting, is my kids blossomed. Like, they laughed all day. They played together beautifully all day. They actually decided to have a game marathon. They took out every game we own, and they've been going from one game to the next, and they've been doing a marathon, and they have just been being goofy, and even the games they don't like, they make new rules on it and just make it hysterical. And so what I've just noticed, like, they're shining, they're brighter today, and that made me feel really good. Our diet is only 24 hours, so we'll see what happens tomorrow, or even tonight. But I like that idea. I like that idea for summertime, actually, to have that as a regular, maybe it's 2 days a week. I don't know what the answer is actually. I'm experimenting as well. And I think it's a good experiment to have. And what I've really noticed, though, over time as I've listened to my kids and as I've observed, and actually when the phones went away and it was a very calm, quiet conversation. It was very articulate, and there weren't, that wasn't a big issue at first. And then there were some big feelings afterwards. And what I really noticed, what I've been thinking about and watching and observing, is how much a device can be used to keep my kids' fears inside of them, to keep all of our fears inside of us, right? Like, we can do that with almost anything, but anything that we're addicted to or obsessed with, or like focusing our attention on nonstop, it doesn't allow us to have feelings, keeps all that inside. And I'm really seeing that, how feelings can be hidden away because of nonstop focus and attention on a device. And so there have been some feelings lately, and I appreciate that, and I expected it, and I welcomed that as well. And so I just think it's important to expect that and to support our kids through that. And so the other things that I think are really important regarding devices are just to be able to do some special time with kiddos, so that, again, thinking of, they're reaching out into the world with a device, and when they don't have that anymore, you can fill in your connection rather than a device, and that will fill up your kids so much more than any device could ever. So that's one huge piece of doing special time with our kids. And then also, I think all of the tools of hand-in-hand parenting are appropriate here. So lots of physical play with play listening, lots of laughter and physical play and roughhousing to fill up their sense of connection to the world and to you. Setting limits where if there is a device, to be able to enter their world and then set the limit to let the big feelings come out, but not having a harsh limit. So you set that limit with warmth and let the feelings roll and let them have their feelings. Because when you think of it, when we set that limit, we're breaking their connection with the world, what we know, sort of a sense of connection with the world, and trying to bring it to us. That's not an easy process. That's not an easy process at all. So just to have a lot of compassion for what that could be like for a child, to have to make that shift, especially kids who have a hard time with transition too, could really struggle with that. So there's some ideas for you. I know it can be hard in the summertime. I'm in the muck of it myself. I'm trying some new experiments this summer. This is our first summer where it's actually been a little bit of a challenge. Previous summers, we've actually managed it really well. And as my kids have gotten older, it's the first summer that I'm really having to be more strategic about it and think more about it. So I would love your ideas on how you've really dealt with devices, especially for teens, and what you're doing about it. So thank you so much. All right, bye-bye.